I heard John Maxwell say years ago that teamwork makes the dream work. And I don't know that he originated it, but it is certainly true that we can't accomplish a vision without others. We have to do it together because a vision is so big that it starts with an individual, but in order to get it done, it's going to take multiple people to accomplish it with different skill sets. I speak to groups that are nonprofits occasionally, and as part of the group that I have done that with over the years, one of the things that I've really recognized or understood as some other leaders talk about board development in those nonprofits is how often people are attracted to a vision, but sometimes the leader doesn't necessarily bring in the right people from a skill side of things. So people can be excited about the cause, but when it comes down to the business decisions and the skill set needed to actually run the organization, there's a lot of struggles there. And I think that's probably true in a lot of our lives and businesses. People get behind a vision, but we also have to be wise about what are the roles that we need to accomplish that vision. We need supporters, we need cheerleaders, we need people that are excited about what is possible and what the vision is. However, we also need to be wise about how to equip the team and make sure the team is full of people that are going to help you accomplish the vision because the vision can get stuck if you don't have the right players on the team. It also reminds me of Jim Collins' analogy from Good to Great that he talked about years ago in that book when it came out was getting the right people on the bus, getting the right people in the right seats on the bus, and getting the wrong people off the bus. Sometimes there's even people with good intentions and supporters that maybe just aren't a great fit for the vision or at least a phase of the vision. And I think that sometimes leaders get into the trap of thinking that whoever starts with me on this journey is going to end with me. And when that doesn't happen, they get disappointed. I know for myself, I've had to learn that I have a certain role to play in coming alongside leaders to help them accomplish a vision. But what I've also discovered is that in that process, I'm not a maintainer. I'm more of a builder and I help people build things, but I don't necessarily find enjoyment or strengths even. I don't offer strengths when it comes to maintenance. So I realize that when we're building something, when we're taking a vision and we're saying, okay, how do we accomplish this? And, my strengths can often be coming alongside that leader to develop the action plan and put this action steps together and put timelines on it and responsibilities for different actions that need to be taken, and then getting the ball rolling. But at the same time, doing the work day in and day out, week after week, year after year isn't something that I'm often passionate about. I like to help kind of start and launch things and then be able to hand that off. And I think that we need to understand our roles. Are you a builder or are you a maintainer? Both are needed. Both are desperately needed. I also heard the terminology years ago, are you a pioneer or are you a settler? And thinking about even how America was expanded and how other nations are expanded and discovered and developed is there are pioneers that have to blaze the trails, right? They have to forge forward. They have to keep moving forward to settle new areas, new land. But there's also a group of people that need to follow those pioneers to actually settle that land and make it sustainable. And so not everybody's a pioneer that's willing to go first, that's willing to go through the hard things to build. They might be more settlers who say, you know what, once the thing is established, then I can step in and use my skills, my gifts, my abilities to then maintain what has been established. Once again, both are needed. There's no right or wrong. There's no better or worse role in this. They're all needed. And so as leaders, when you think about establishing your vision, you have to think beyond the startup. You have to think beyond the idea. You have to think who are the right people, what are the right roles needed, what are the right skills needed in order to help this vision come to reality. And then once it is reality, once it's out of your head and it actually is manifested into a physical form of some shape, then how can this be maintained for long-term success? that was Jim Collins' principle in his book Good to Great is, there are things that leaders have to do in order for a business or an organization to go from good to great. And it takes a level of leadership, a different level of leadership to grow to great and also to maintain greatness. And as leaders, we have to be thinking about this. It's not just about the short-term things that we can accomplish. It's about how do we build this thing, whatever it is, so that others can take that baton from us and carry it forward. Think about all the different brands or all the different companies that have kind of stood the test of time over the last 100 years. They have had to establish not just the startup, but they had to establish a way forward to last. And the reality is, most organizations don't last the test of time because sometimes what happens is you have a founder who starts a great business, a great organization, and the handoff is kind of botched. They maybe they didn't prepare for the next leader to take over, or maybe a generation or two or three beyond the founder isn't as passionate and isn't as skilled or have the desire to carry it forward. And so that business many times could be shut down or could be acquired by another larger business that says, you know what, we have a vision of acquiring different organizations to build our portfolio and to build our brand. So we have to just understand that. And when we're casting vision, when we're establishing vision, when we're building out the vision, that there are different phases, there's different stages, there's different seasons that we're going to go through as leaders. And some people are visionaries and some people are integrators. That's a great principle that helped me a long time ago when I read Traction by Gino Wickman and then ultimately the book Rocket Fuel, which is about how does a visionary and an integrator role work together so that the business, the organization can really thrive. So think about that. Are you a visionary or are you an integrator? Are you the visionary who likes to start things and has a lot of ideas and is able to cast that vision? Or are you an integrator who likes to come alongside a visionary in order to develop that vision and flesh it out so that it becomes reality and then you can run into the operating side of it? Many times in organizations, the CEO and founder roles are the visionaries, and the COO and subsequent C-suite executives and leaders are more the integrators. Once again, both are needed. And I think when we can understand our strengths and our skill set, it changes things. For me as a coach, as a consultant, as an advisor, I know that my strength is coming alongside of a leader who has a vision, but might be struggling to flesh it out or to get it off the ground or to build systems and processes to maintain it so it can have a chance to last. That took me a long time to understand that's really my strength. But when I look back in my career, even when I was a pastor, I would come alongside leaders and I would fulfill certain duties to come alongside and make sure things were happening and getting done. And I kind of got the label of the get it done guy because I wanted to make sure that the vision not just launched, but that it truly had the legs and the sustainability factor. And so now as a coach, as a consultant, even as an advisor to different leaders, I'm able to come in instead of being the one always doing the work. I'm able to help establish what work needs to get done, who are the right people to get that work done, and then let's move forward by establishing that so that this thing can have a chance to operate long term. So think about this in context of your business and organization, your environment. Are you building a team that can take the vision and truly get it off the ground? Are you developing your people consistently so that they can have the skills, the know-how in order to accomplish the vision? See, that's the other side of what I enjoy doing is, coming alongside leaders to help develop people so that they can be stronger leaders at different levels and different roles throughout the organization so that it's not just a bottleneck at the top with one leader trying to get it all done, but instead it's a team leadership approach with a visionary or a team of visionaries who are guiding the way forward, who are setting the tone, who are setting the pace, and then the leaders throughout the organization are able to carry that forward and in their respective departments or areas of responsibility, they can be the kind of leaders that others will follow so that they can get the job done and take that vision and keep moving it forward and into the future. So maybe you need that kind of help. Maybe you're a visionary and you're saying, Chris, I have an idea. I have lots of ideas. I just don't know how to get them out of my head and onto paper. I don't know how to get them from idea to implementation. Well, if that's the case, then go to McClureCoaching.com and apply for a free strategy session because I'd love to help you think through that and develop a plan of how to go from idea to reality with an action plan. But maybe you're the kind of person who's saying, you know what, we have a good team of people, we have a vision, we're doing good things, but the reality is that maybe my people aren't strong enough to carry us forward, and I have great people that I want on the team, but they just haven't been developed appropriately yet. Well, if that's the case, once again, go to McClureCoaching.com, apply for a free strategy session, and we will talk about what does it look like to develop your people to equip them in the right way so that they can truly execute the vision and be those long-term sustainable leaders within your organization. There's all different roles and needs inside an organization, whether it's a small team of two or three people or whether it's a large team in a big corporation with hundreds or thousands of people. It's all about people. The level of your success as a leader is going to be the level of how your people are going to perform in their roles and responsibilities. And as a leader, as a senior leader, as an owner, as a founder, you have to be thinking about, am I doing what I need to do to develop the people around me so that we can accomplish the vision that we have? And if you need help with that, don't feel bad. You have skills and abilities as a visionary that are needed for the organization, but it doesn't mean that you're the right person and the best person to equip and train. And once again, that's why I love to come alongside leaders because for me, my passion, my interest, my skill set of developing leaders, teaching leaders how to be the leaders that they need inside their different teams and organizational capacities, that's where I can take that load off your shoulders. And so if I can help, I would love for you to reach out. I'd love to have a call with you and just sit down and talk about where are you at? Where do you want to go? What's the vision? What are your hangups? What are your obstacles currently? Maybe you've had a vision that's gotten to a certain level and you're like, you know what, we just kind of have now hit a ceiling. Well, guess what? That's typically a leadership capacity issue. Your leadership, your team's capacity will get you so far. And sometimes that's a few steps ahead, sometimes that's 100 steps ahead. But then at some point, you have to then kind of recalibrate, readjust, and retool so that you can then go to the next level, whatever that looks like for you with your vision. See, having a vision as a leader isn't just a one-time thing. It's the bell curve where if you get to the top of the hill and the vision is accomplished, you're either going to start to plateau or you're going to start to decline. And so what happens is you need a new vision, a new mountain, a new hill to climb as you go forward. And so as a visionary leader, as a senior leader, as somebody who's responsible for vision and moving forward, you need to keep thinking about, okay, once we accomplish this, what's next? What's the next hill to climb? What's the next vision to pursue? And then what are the skill sets? Who are the people that we need in order to develop that vision and make it a reality? So this is the type of stuff I like kind of geek out on and talking to leaders about. I get excited when I hear vision my brain automatically goes from, okay, here's where you are, here's where you want to go. What's the path between the two? And that's why I love to come alongside leaders as a coach, as a consultant, as a trainer in order to help you get that vision and turn it into reality through implementation and developing your people. So don't think that you can accomplish this vision that you have alone. You need your people, and you need those people to be developed people in leadership skills and tactical skills so they can help you get to where you want to go. Take care. God bless. Go to McClureCoaching.com if you need help, and I would love to have a conversation with you about how we could partner together to help you take your vision and turn it into reality through your own development and the development of your people. We'll see you next time.